some notes, made another narrative that kind of skillfully hits a raw nerve in America's understanding of what that N word is. In your mind, what does that mean to you in terms of, what was your original goal when you set out to write this book?
Well, I set out to write the book to liberate myself, because I came to the conclusion that even though I consider myself an educated man, an intelligent man, I went to school, I have a degree, I'm a writer, I was teaching young people in church, I still responded to the word nigger when I heard it. Now, using your common sense, if somebody calls out your name and your name is Bob, and they call out Billy, or they call out Larry, and your name is Bob, you ignore it. But for some reason, I couldn't. I remember when I went to school. I went to a school where there were 3,000 students, and there were 6 blacks, 3,000 whites and 6 blacks. And I lived with white gentlemen, with some white gentlemen as roommates and stuff, and we were pretty close and pretty good. But when we would go out in the public, if someone yelled out the word nigger, I would respond, and it would ruin my whole day. And I was like, how in the world could I be in this institution, being educated, and still have someone yell out a word, and it wrecked my whole day? And I finally came to the conclusion that I saw myself as one. Now, most of the people that are watching this are going to get angry with me and say that, how could you say something like that? The truth of the matter is the majority of us in America see ourselves as niggas. If we didn't, we would not laugh at Kevin Hart's jokes. Who is he talking about when he talks about niggas? He's talking about us. Otherwise, we wouldn't laugh. We wouldn't pay money to have him speak about something that we don't identify with. We identify with it. We identify with it down to the marrow of our bones. We identify with it so much that we can't get away from it. It is part of who we are. And I had to come to the conclusion that I saw myself as a nigger. And in order for me to get free, the first step to getting free is to face the truth. The truth shall set you free.
Okay, so do you think you made your point with this book?
I think I made my point. But if people have the guts to read it, they will find out.
That will be a challenge for some.
And I had a conversation with one gentleman. He asked me, he says, why in the world would you put the word nigger on the cover of the book? And I remember I had to go do a speaking engagement. And I told him because that was my Emancipation Proclamation. That was my Declaration of Independence. And he was like, why? I said, because niggas don't talk about niggas. It's something in our culture. Niggas do not talk about niggas. Niggas do not put niggas down. So the moment that I put that word on the book, I was talking about something I no longer was.
Oh.
And that is why I named the book what I named it. And if you take the time to read the book, you'll find out that's the journey that the gentleman went on in the book.
Correct.
He began the book thinking that he was a nigger, and at the end of the book realized he was not. And he was free from that word. And so by me putting the word nigger on that cover, I said, I'm not that anymore.
Right.
I'm talking about something. It's like me doing a thesis on a frog. This is no longer who I am.
Okay. All right.
My world is far from the dreams of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. reversed it, he made it seem truer. Sometimes it feels like a setup, so I'm sharp with maneuvers. But I know it runs deeper, I'm sharp with the tulip. We fight for our rights, so they entrust us with high positions, hoping we forget the injustice. I can't just sit, hide, and be quiet about what I know really exists. Cause we don't need another Sean Bell, Troy Davis, and Genesis. Change gotta come somehow, we need a genesis. Too many of my brothers dead or they locked in a prison. Social opposition is kinda hard to be optimistic. And I know where there's a will, there's a way. But it's hard seeing that will get killed every day. I'm just one in the army, not the last or the first. I know the fight is hard, but not fighting is worse. Yeah.
This modern day Babylon, freak man camouflage. Of this first of the month, but last to get up, y'all. Yeah. From this spiritual ignorance,